Hello and good morning. It is Friday and it's about 7:40 a.m. I just got back to town from taking TJ to work and I felt like taking a walk. I want to start taking morning walks more consistently. I make sure to take a walk every day, but sometimes I do it in the morning. Sometimes I do multiple walks and I do like a couple throughout the day. Sometimes I just take like a random walk later in the evening. But especially since I'm starting this new work schedule, where I'm going to be working 2 to 10, I want to start having more of a routine before 2 o'clock. And I want to start waking up like by 8:30 in the morning. Even earlier if I wake up and I feel like getting up even earlier. And I want to start planning like my walking routines when I eat breakfast. Like I want to have a rough idea of how my days are going to go before work and when I have a day off. And so some of the things that I want to be like more consistent on is I want a morning walk before like 10 a.m. and I want to go at least a mile before 10 a.m. every day, whether I have work or not. And if I'm off of work, then I want to make it like more. I want to do a couple miles then. And then I want to eat out less than twice a week. Which I know that probably sounds like kind of bad. But like a year or two ago, we were eating out like 50% of the time. I'd say at this point, we eat out like maybe 30% of the time. So like last night we had Wendy's and it cost us $15 for us each to have like a smaller biggie bag meal. Their biggie bags are like their adult value meals. And we had 3 sandwiches, 2 fries, 2 small fries, and then we got 4 chicken nuggets each and 2 small sodas. So not the best, but we both worked all day yesterday. And I worked from 9 to 5 doing my training for this new job. And TJ worked from 7 to 7, which was his normal schedule. And so I got home at about 5:30 after my training, and I immediately did dishes and cleaned the kitchen until TJ got home at about 7:30. And the kitchen was very clean and the dishes were done, but it was like, okay, now if I cook, I'm gonna have to clean up all over again. Like, I won't have to do as many dishes. I won't have to like do as much, but I'm gonna have to clean the splatter, whatever, up off of the stovetop again. I'm gonna have to clean up the table. I'm gonna have to sweep up the floor again. So we were like, we're just gonna go to Wendy's. Well, we were gonna go to Burger King, and then we decided to go to Wendy's because Wendy's is better. And it's honestly like not much more expensive. It's pretty similar. McDonald's really is the most expensive one, at least for us around here. Like, McDonald's is good, and like we all grew up with like McDonald's, most of us at least. Like, so it's hard to explain, but like sometimes you just freaking crave McDonald's. Like, it's McDonald's cheeseburgers and McDonald's fries and McDonald's McMuffins, like they cannot be beat. But McDonald's can be so expensive unless you're using like their rewards and their like whatever, then you can kind of bring the prices down. But if you just try to like go and order without that shit, McDonald's is like the same price as like Olive Garden. Like, maybe not really, but like the Chinese buffet that we like around here is $20 a person about. It's like $19 at lunch and I think like $22 during dinner maybe. So if we both go, it's like $40 to $45. Sometimes I think it's only like $38 or $36. I think that I think lunch might actually only be like $17 or something, $18. Because I'm pretty sure our bill has been like 36, 37 before. Anyway, two people eating at McDonald's, like, one of the good meals that actually makes you full and is like enough food, it's gonna be like a $15 meal. And then if you want a dessert or anything else, you get upcharged or you have to buy that separately. Like, it's so easy to spend $20 at McDonald's if you're actually trying to eat and you're not like thinking like, oh, I'm gonna order off the value menu. But anyway, that was a like random tangent. My favorite McDonald's item, if you're worried about it, if you're curious, is a bacon, egg, and cheese McMuffin, which they do not make on their own, which I'm like, why? Like, make them both. But you have to order it as a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin. And then you have to sub the sausage for bacon. And then they upcharge you 25 cents for the bacon. But, anyway, I'm gonna start my walk. I literally was trying to talk about, like, I don't want to, like, just sleep in until, like, 9 or 10, until, like, I just, like, I can't even make myself close my eyes anymore. Like, I'm so well rested that it's like, okay, I'm laying here and now I'm just bored. So I'm finally gonna get up. Like, I want to start getting up and I want to feel like motivated and I want to like make myself breakfast. I want to clean up the apartment. If there's dishes to do, I want to wake up in the morning and I want to like tackle the dishes. I don't want to like put them off. And I want to start going to the gym more. I think we've been making it to the gym like twice a week. I really want to make it like 4 or 5 times a week. Like, I want to double, maybe even triple the frequency that we go to the gym. We do stay at the gym long enough because like we do the treadmill or the elliptical for like a good hour a lot of the time, or we'll do it for like 45 minutes. And then we do like an hour of weight training. And then a lot of times we'll take a walk on top of that after the gym. So I think our workouts are good enough. I just don't think the frequency of working out is enough right now. And then we both kind of like try to work out on our own at home randomly, but like we do better in a gym because we just don't feel motivated when we're like trying to do it ourselves. We feel awkward and weird and like we judge ourselves because we're like, you know, we don't know if we're doing it right. Like we feel like it's pointless. But when you're in a gym and you have the proper equipment and you're not like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like it's easier to work out in a gym for TJ and I. And to like have the motivation to continue with working out. Because whenever we try to do it at home, we just feel really awkward and we're just like, we'll just wait till we go to the gym. So anyway, I say twice a week for eating out because then we like breakfast and we like lunch and dinner. And so like randomly, if one day we need to stop for breakfast or something and we get a breakfast sandwich, I want that to be like able to happen. And then like I want us to be able to like go out and eat dinner or something if we feel like it. Or like last night where it's like we don't want to have to clean the kitchen up after we just cleaned it. But I don't want to like give ourselves too much leeway, and I don't want to be like, oh, we can eat out up to 5 times. And like, we use all 5 of our strikes, if that's what you want to call them. I just feel like that's not like good enough. Anyway, I'm gonna get started on the walk. I'm just really looking forward to having a decent job with decent hours and decent pay. I'm not gonna have my soul sucked out of me. TJ and I are doing well. There have been moments where we have struggled recently, and we don't really bring that online. But we are persevering through our issues, and I think he and I are starting to understand each other on a level that we haven't been able to before. And I think it comes down to we're both maturing. I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that I am maturing quite a bit, or I have matured quite a bit. It's hard to really talk about, and a lot of things aren't appropriate to share. So it's hard to speak because of that as well. Because I want to remain respectful to both of us. And I don't want to taint either one of ours reputations. I don't want people to think more negatively or more positively about TJ or about me. We are an equal couple, and that's what I want. That's what he wants. But we have had a lot of lack of understanding with each other, I'd say, in the last probably year. And honestly, I guess we didn't realize it, but throughout the entire relationship so far. And a lot of the things that we brushed off about the other person, it turns out that I think, were bottling things up for a long time. And so things have been a bit chaotic between us for a while. And we have been failing to see the best in each other. We have been failing to have faith in each other. And to be honest, we were very close to breaking up and deciding that we needed to be on our own. Neither one of us wanted to actually make that final call, so we never did. And after a really bad argument, it was a pretty nasty fight, we had a couple days where we kind of played it off like everything was normal, and like we didn't just scream at each other that we aren't good for each other, and like just throwing things in each other's faces. And we both said things that we were both coming from a place of like hurt ourselves and whatever, but like we were also hurting each other like more. Like we were using that to hurt each other more as like the reason we both felt justified to continue with the fight and to continue with the aggression. And it wasn't physical. We don't get physical with each other, but very, very, very verbal. And we both know that that's not acceptable. Neither one of us wants to be that person. And we kind of have had a couple conversations where it's like, if we only bring out the worst in each other, even if we do love each other, that's not enough if we just bring out the worst in each other. Like, if you just make me mad and piss me off, and I do the same for you, or like, you feel depressed being around me, like, I mean, like, yes, we can love each other, but if we're not compatible, we're not compatible. Like, that's just kind of the conversation. But in the last while, I don't even really know the time frame because, you know, relationship stuff, but then also, like, I'm trying to get this new job. I'm trying to get started with a job. I also started a second part-time job before I started my full-time job. But I had like told the part-time job that I was looking for a full-time job, and they were aware that they were going to be like the second job. But, you know, I don't even really have the time frame. I can't even really say. I think it's been like maybe about a month, maybe a few weeks since like we were kind of really butting heads and it was getting kind of ugly. And we kind of have this like newfound, I feel like, appreciation for each other. It kind of almost feels like a honeymoon phase, but it also feels different because it feels like we actually have grown. It feels like we're growing together. After the ugliness, after a couple days, we kind of started to talk to each other more, and we had a conversation where I talked about how after all is said and done in an argument, even if he apologizes or if he tries to make it up or if whatever, like, I have a very hard time believing that it's genuine because, like, a lot of times the reason why we start arguing or something is because of him judging something that I do. And so then I'm like, I feel like you're gonna judge me for having a reaction. I feel like you're gonna judge me if I give you a hug and we make up. I feel like you're gonna judge me for that. And I feel very like reluctant to come to a solution a lot of the time. Like, I don't want to keep fighting, but like, I feel very reluctant to have the makeup part. It takes me a long time to get to that, where I'm like willing to let it go and where I want to be around him again. And He gets very frustrated with me, and he told me that he feels helpless when he's trying to make something better and I'm not allowing it to get better. And hearing him say that kind of like shifted something in me. Like, it's hard to explain because, like, it's not that profound, like, and I was already kind of aware, but at the same time, like, a lot of the stuff that we argue about is stuff that is repeated. And so for me, I'm like, if you were trying to make it better, this just wouldn't have happened again. And then a lot of times he feels like I'm misunderstanding his intentions, or like we just have a difference of opinion or a different way of doing things. And I have a hard time like accepting that just because something maybe didn't go the way that I wanted or the way that I planned or the way that I would do it doesn't mean that he intentionally was like doing something towards me or to make me upset. But I honestly have an issue where like I take things personally, and I mean that's like, I will admit that I kind of have an anger problem. Like, I don't get angry very easily, but after I have gotten upset, it's very hard for me to calm down. And so there are times where I get irrational, or I'm not seeing things clearly. I have clouded judgment, and I have picked fights with him because of that. And then there are moments sometimes where I snap out of it and I kind of realize like how stupid I sound, like just for real. Like I've like I'll have a moment and it kind of hits me in my head and I'm like, what the fuck am I even saying? Like, and sometimes I have been able to force myself to be like, okay, like actually never mind. Like, I can't even think of an example, and TJ's like not a perfect partner either. Like, there are things that I legit have a reason to get annoyed about. Like, for a while he would leave his garbage and his cups like full of drink and stuff, and he would like leave half empty cups and all that. And I tried to call him out on it, and I was like, you need to pick up your stuff. Like, I shouldn't have to pick up after you, and I don't know why you leave your garbage and stuff. Like, you should throw it away. And he was like, well, you do it too. You can't be upset about my mess when you do the same thing. And it was like, if I'm eating in the living room and watching a movie, I'll put my plate down until the movie's over, but then I will bring my plate after that. You will leave the apartment and go shopping or go do something and leave your plate there. I might leave it there while I'm like still in the living room or something, but before I leave to do anything else, I'm going to clear my stuff. So there was one day where I had cleaned the apartment. He had a day off and I had to work. I come home after I cleaned the apartment. There's like 3 different cups. There's lots of garbage, like chip bags and stuff laying around. Not like lots, because he's one person, but like fruit snack wrapper, chip bag, other like random small garbage, just like here, there, everywhere. And I asked him to come out, and I was like, can you please like come out here? And then I was like, okay, last time I tried to talk to you about this, you told me that like I do it too, and you wouldn't really listen to me. But I cleaned the whole apartment before I had work today, and it was not like this. And none of this is mine. And then I started to point, and I was like, there's this. And he blew up at me, and he was like, God, I don't know why you have to come home and just look for a reason to get fucking upset. And I was like, excuse you? Like, I'm not even mad. I'm actually being really respectful right now. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but like, I kind of called him out like that immediately. Like, because when I got home, I wanted to get upset. But then I thought about it, and I actually controlled myself in that moment. And I was like, it's just going to start a fight if I just go in there and fight him. So that's why I did it that way. And I was like, can you please come out here? And I explained where, like, I'm only showing you this because you wouldn't listen to me. So, like, this is, like, in your face now. You cannot deny it. And those kinds of situations, he has a very hard time taking accountability. And it can get very frustrating for me. And I guess I kind of just realized it. I have a hard time sometimes with like mixing up a situation like that with like something that doesn't matter, or, like, I expect that kind of thing to happen from him. And so, like, I see it where it doesn't happen, where it doesn't exist. And then I get upset about something that isn't there, and then he gets upset because he's like, I didn't even do anything to you this time. I didn't even, I wasn't rude. I wasn't anything, but I'm expecting it. And so I feel like I see it when it's not there. And I feel like we both have finally started to like acknowledge our shortcomings and stuff like that. And because of that, like I said, we're starting to understand each other a lot better. And I think that we are actually starting to mend our relationship. And I think we're like, I think we're coming into a healthy phase, or a healthy part of our process. And I really hope that we are able to work it out, and I really do believe that we will. But I do believe that no matter what, we will always respect each other. We will always love each other to an extent. And because of that love, we'll have that respect for each other. And we'll always want the best for the other. And I think that we both are starting to see each other as the human beings that we actually are, rather than trying to force the image that we originally wanted from the other person. Loving the version of someone that you created rather than who they actually are. And I feel like we're kind of starting to step away from trying to force the other person into being who we want. And I feel like we're starting to accept each other, at least in the areas that we haven't, because obviously we've been together a long time. There's a lot of things about each other that we've had to accept, but I think we're truly starting to like accept each other for the way that we are. And I'm very happy about it. I really hope we can just continue on this path. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I mean, I have work soon. I mean, I actually don't have to be there till 10 today. It's 8:12 because I've been recording for a long time. So I'm gonna do like a 10 or 15-minute walk. I have planned, I'm gonna do like a 30-minute walk. And then I've got to go to training. So take care.